Okay, I'm going to clean up these push buttons for this 529 Zenith. These here I've already done. Get these over here so you can see. Get them out here where I can get a light on them. Now these got some heat issues, I guess, where they've deformed. There's not much you can do about that, but that's okay, because if you go and stick a station label over it, it will it'll hide it. So this one here I have not done yet. Let's see if I can get this in some decent light. You can see that. That in there's got disfiguration too. I think 5 of them are pretty disfigured there underneath the label. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this one up for you on camera and show you the difference on it. Now, what I use is a Dremel tool with a buffing pad on it. These are semi-hard. You take and you put them on there. You can get them in bulk. And what I do is I take a razor knife and I just, when I turn it on, I just kind of hit it there, cleave it there, cleave it there, and cleave it there about 3 places across that pad. And that will separate the wafers from being so compressed, because they are a little bit on the hard side, but they're still good for buffing. That will loosen it up enough where you can now what I use here is some it's not jeweler's rouge, it's a different rouge for plastics and vinyls and stuff like that. I got this in a 4-block set. This used to be like an ingot, like a gold ingot. It was shaped in that thing, but the heat here in Cottonwood has kind of pancaked it out a little bit. And all it is just I believe all it is just a mix of polish, real fine grit, and grease. I don't know if it's axle grease or bearing grease or frying grease, Crisco, but that's what I use to buff up these knobs and buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the camera set up so that you can see what I do with this last button here, and that'll be it. So stand by, let me get it done. Okay, here I go. We get the Dremel on, drag it through there a little bit. Now the trick with this thing here is you got to keep this buffing wheel moving. Don't stop, especially around any of the edges, because if you stop, you're going to burn through the plastic. Just keep it going, lightly touching down. You don't need a lot of pressure on it, just a slight little, and you can feel it. And then hit it a little bit more to Santa Claus. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Yeah, hit a little bit on the flat spot here on the front. A little dip it down in there, get a little of that rough area done. Now this will take out a lot of the fine scratches and stuff, and some of the casting lines in the thing. Just a slight buff. It will even take off imprints of grime and discoloration. It all depends on just how far you want to take it. And then what I do after I'm done is I tack them down with a little adhesive on a little wood strip, hold it long enough to hold all 5 of these. or however many I need to clear, and I clear them with the high gloss poly, and that will keep them from getting icked up again from handling. And so that's it for those. Hope that helps you out. Alrighty then, another day. Now, finally, to the cabinet. We got it all clamped up yesterday. Doing a preliminary glue up to get the shaping back in order. On this side here, that is the speaker side, where I showed you where that crack was going through the panel there. I'm getting ready to take the clamping off and check and see what we got left of it and get that corrected up. And then if there's no other issues other than getting the blend into this, we're going to start sanding on it. I've pulled the little feet areas off each side of the cabinet to facilitate quicker sanding. We're going to go ahead and take this back to bare veneer, except, like I said, except for the full finish areas. So let me get it unclamped and we'll deal with the next segment. Okay, we got this thing all sanded up and ready for some pre-stain. We got this side here looking pretty good. We got a little something up in here, but I think we can deal with that. Maybe a little something down in here, I think we can deal with that also. Everything else cleaned up pretty nice. We got the inside of it sanded a little bit, get it cleaned up. We got the vent holes done. We've plugged all the holes for the back panel, for the screws to hold the back panel on, and the bottom is coming right along all right. So we got most of this wood taken care of. First thing tomorrow, well, maybe not first thing tomorrow, but tomorrow we'll do the pre-stain on it. Right now it's a little too cold for anything right here. I think I'm going to go with a honey stain on this one, maybe with dark bands here like I did the other two. Dark here, dark there. We'll see how that works out. And we'll probably trim it there, and on the bottom feet, maybe some black lacquer. If I have any, I might have to go get some. So stay tuned for more. Okay, we got the wave magnet buffed up a little bit. We got to string the outer coil assembly on both sides of the center pocket here. We got her cleaned up and reshot. We're going to do that. And then we're going to get to some alignments as soon as we get the antenna back in order so we can get it connected back up. I've got the chassis turned up and oriented so that we can get to the connection points needed to do the IF alignments and the RF alignments. This is what I'm going to use, VTVM, my typical signal generator. It's an ICO 324, and freak counter. I pretty much I recapped this here and made adjustments to the coils on this, and she's pretty close to right on. But I invested in one of these freak counters because you could be off a good you could be off as far as a good 100 kilohertz on this, maybe even more on the megahertz, in the megahertz ranges here. I felt a lot more confident about the alignment procedures when I know what I'm putting out from here. This here, before I got this, I was doing it by ear. You can do it by ear. A lot of diehards will probably tell you, well, you need an oscilloscope, well, you need a VTVM, you need a... No, you don't. I've been using this equipment right here for about the last 5 years, and doing all my radios. And if you look at my back wall there on my bench, you see it's not crowded with a bunch of high-tech equipment. You don't need all that high-techiness to scratch your head and wonder which cap to test next. This is basically all you need. And of course my wire stash and everything over there. Over here on this wall, I got all my tubes. Yeah, boy, that's homemade tech right there. Yeah. Didn't cost me a thing. I had a bunch of scrap shit around here. So you see, you don't need all the bells and whistles to do this. Here's all my paint supplies and everything. I got more out there in the Chingus there. All my spritzers and my cleaners and all my tape, my spray adhesives. Here's this is my high-tech file cabinet. It's basically an old box that I taped up and everything, and holds just the thing up. And all my radios that I do, this is the way I do them. My stock of polarized cords. So there you have it. I mean, you don't need a bunch of doggone oscilloscopes and all these probes and everything else like that to do this work. All you need is patience and brains, common sense. So there you go.